Okay, you guys ready?
All right.
No.
This is AT Ranter.
I like that, actually.
Monday's AT Ranter.
This is the AT Banter podcast, a balanced and entertaining look at assistive technology, accessibility, and its importance in people's lives. Join Rob Minot, Ryan Fleury, and Steve Barclay as they banter with people around the world about anything and everything regarding assistive technology and the disability community. Now, on with the show.
Hey, and welcome to this week's episode of AT Banter.
Banter, banter.
Ranter,
My-
ranter,
Banter.
ranter,
Banter.
ranter,
Ranter.
ranter,
Banter.
ranter, banter.
We're going to be here a long time. With me,
Somebody hit the
clearly, I have other people in the room working against the podcast in a deep state conspiracy.
Yep.
There's a lot
Mr.
of that going around.
There is.
I didn't do it.
Ryan Fleury
Hey.
and Mr. Steve Barclay.
Hola.
I don't know why I said that like a question. I'm pretty sure it's you.
Or it's Scuffy.
Or
Shut
you're.
up.
Yeah, hey, here we are. It's Monday, and clearly we're all in decent spirits
Yeah.
for once. Oh, I spoke too soon. What's wrong, Ryan? Do you need a hug?
No, it's all good.
Uh-huh.
It's all good.
Well, how's your day been?
My day was good. Yeah, day's been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Couple, SMA inquiries and
Mm-hmm.
things are trucking along.
Riveting.
Mm-hmm.
Good. How is everybody doing otherwise? Why do I ask that every week? I just get the
Well, let
same
me see.
response. I just get blank stares and just like,
Well, I just answered the question, so let's pass
we're-
up to Steve.
Last week on Wednesday, I did leg day with my son at the gym. And I did all the same weights that he did. And I'm
Why would
still
you do
limping.
So to sum up, we're old and everything hurts.
Yes. Yeah, that's fairly accurate.
Excellent. Hey, guess what?
What?
I think today is going to be our news show.
You figure?
I think so. What the heck? Well, let me check with Ryan, though, and make sure. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, Rob.
What are we doing today?
Today was going to be our monthly news show
What do you
with
mean?
a special guest,
Oh,
but our special guest has been delayed, so
And I'm
she
so
may not
bummed.
appear. Yeah, so was I.
oh,
So she may appear, she may not, but we'll hold that off for another week,
you're such a
and
tease.
we'll talk news.
You're such a tease.
Hey, well,
So you're not even going to tell people who it was?
Nope.
It could be anybody.
no, we're not telling anybody.
So it's just all we know. It's a her.
Yep,
That's it.
that's it.
Hmm.
Follow us on Twitter. Maybe it'll be there.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Oh, wow. Look at you, Mr. Marketing Tease.
Real.
We'll see if our Twitter followers suddenly spikes.
I got to do something to
Friday.
get those numbers up.
Yeah, that's right. Who could be the mystery guest?
That's right.
All right. Well, then let's talk some news. Let's dive right in, boys.
Okay, what's in the news?
Hey, here's something we saw over the weekend. Samsung has filed a patent for new Braille input on smartwatches.
More Braille.
Yeah.
Smart watches, though.
Yes. So,
How would you do that?
well, here he goes. The patent describes a method for blind people to input text through Braille using the rotated bezel on a smartwatch. It enables Braille input by allowing the user to control the input position in the 6-point Braille character by rotating the bezel. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me, but I thought it might to you guys, because you guys are a little bit more savvy with Braille devices. But what do they mean by a bezel?
Well, the bezel is the outside of the watch, right? It's
Right, so you'd like almost like
on like a dive watch, you can turn it.
So, and Braille has 6 cells, so what, you would just rotate the bezel until it got the right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's,
It must,
that's what
right?
they're
It
not
must.
clear about, because, let's say you turn the bezel to the right once, do you get dot 1, and does that dot 1 stay? Because now you turn it
I would
to
assume so.
the next position to get
Dot two, right.
just to get the letter B. Like, this could be really tedious.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's a way to input Braille in a smartwatch, which you wouldn't even think would be possible.
I'd like to actually see it in action before I pass judgment, but
Yeah, it's just a
I'm with
patent.
Ryan.
Well-
It sounds like it would be very tedious.
Sure. Yeah. It goes on to say, when companies are increasingly relying on voice-based interaction models to make their products and services more accessible to people with disabilities, it appears Samsung is exploring and investing in other approaches as well. So the article goes on to also talk about how it's only a patent. It doesn't mean that they're actually develop anything with this. They've just basically just said, hey, we claim bezel
Braille.
the bezel Braille. That's
I should
nobody else can
trademark
use
that,
that.
copyright that, bezelbraille.com.
You know, how much does it cost to put in a patent? Because I'm thinking I have a lot of crazy ideas that I should just be putting patents on, because even if I don't do anything with it, then like my hot chocolate hot tub idea.
Ew.
Come on, they have mud baths and stuff. I can't. That would be
are
delicious.
You're gonna drink hot chocolate that you're hot tubbing in. Think that through.
I'm just thinking of all those marshmallows stuck to my neck.
Those aren't marshmallows.
I'm just listen. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm going to develop it.
Why
I'm
is
just
this
saying
one
I want
furry?
in case the Playboy Mansion decides to pick it up. I want to be able to get some royalties off
There
that.
you go.
Off that action. All right. Well, never mind then. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. The other thing about this is that there is already in existence the Dot Watch,
That's true, which is a Braille watch.
which is a Braille watch.
Yeah.
Now, refresh my memory. They don't have an input.
It's not input.
It's all
Yeah,
output.
it's output.
yeah.
So
Well, there's a couple of buttons for advancing and so forth. But
Right, but it's not Braille input. You're not brailing on the Dot Watch.
No, you're not.
but I mean, who'd want to Braille on a smartwatch anyways?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, this sounds like
I mean, the part that immediately strikes me, if you're wearing a watch on your wrist, like, okay, so Rob, do you wear a watch?
no,
Okay.
but I used to.
And which hand did you
Right,
kept it on your right hand?
right,
Okay, so how are you going to Braille on it?
with my left.
Right, which is your least dexterous hand,
Correct.
and
Yeah, that's right. Because you wear it on your dominant hand generally.
yeah,
right? Yeah.
and I don't know. It just seems weird.
It does seem
It's weird. I'm going with weird.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like a shot in the dark. I think they're just patenting this just because someone thought of it in the lunchroom and they're like, let's patent that just in case. You know, we don't want Apple to sort of steal our thunder. So
Fair enough.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with this, but
Yeah, it could be years down the road. We'll watch for it.
or if at all,
Yeah.
you know. If
See
at
what he
all.
did there? He said he'd watch.
Damn, Ryan.
I didn't even catch it. So
It's a subliminal joke.
That's right.
Even more impressive.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's all give him hands.
Oh, I see what you did there. Watch hands. Oh, nice.
Or is it time for the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, now I got to come up with something.
Come on, don't wind me up.
I don't want to be second. Dear.
Yep. Moving right along. Hey, this is a weird story. I don't even know where to start with this. So some scientists at the University of Minnesota have 3D printed a bionic eye. Now, I was a little confused with this article in just how far they've gone, because a lot of times some of these articles I find are a little bit hyperbolic in terms of what they've actually managed to do versus what eventually this could mean. But these researchers at the University of Minnesota have 3D printed the first prototype of what could be a bionic eye that one day could possibly be surgically implanted on somebody and restore vision. Using a 3D printer that was custom made for the job, they added a base ink of silver particles and printing photodiodes, which are semiconductors that convert light into electricity, which then allow the eye to have vision. Now, if you're like me and stupid, that means nothing to you.
My question is, like, does that get implanted onto your existing eye?
Well,
Because, or
here's
how
the
does
thing.
that transmit to the brain? Like,
Here's the thing.
It
They
doesn't.
haven't started that off. It's this like they've discovered the wheel,
oh, okay.
but they've to eventually
They haven't got
build
the
a car.
action yet.
Like they've built a wheel, and it's just like,
Right.
okay, eventually we could make a motorless carriage, or a horseless carriage out of this.
Right.
But they've really only got the wheels so far.
That's crazy talk, Ford.
So I mean, they've managed to build sort of a prototype what could be a Bionic Eye. But I mean, obviously, as far as I know, the technology doesn't exist to actually take that and connect it to nerve endings and to
visual cortexes and
actually build a bionic eye that
Right.
they can implant.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I really think are cool about this, and then there's a couple things that I was sort of disappointed because the article made it sound like, ooh, artificial eye, and
Right.
and when somebody says artificial eye, it's like, okay, that's got to have some sort of interface to the brain that you automatically assume that. Well, no, that's not what these guys have invented. They've invented an eye-mounted camera. Is what they've invented.
Okay.
So basically, it's a prosthetic eye that you pop in. It's got a camera in it, and it'll transmit to a exterior device.
So think of a wireless Google Lens type device. Not Google Lens, but what was the Google Glass?
Google Glass, yeah.
Yeah. But in the shape of an eye.
Except it's just a camera.
Sure,
camera.
it could.
Okay.
I mean, that's been in speculative fiction for a while. This idea of an eye that could record what it sees. As a like an eye mounted camera.
Terminator.
Yeah, sure.
That would be
And actually,
so handy.
that's probably not all that far away. That would actually not be difficult to do. You could make an eye that you could pop into an eye socket that could actually record and transmit that to a device and record it digitally.
And I would totally use that too. I totally would, because the next time I arrive in the kitchen, I'd be able to go, why am I here? Rewind 10 seconds. Oh, right. And then,
Right.
carry on with my day and not just stand around in the kitchen scratching my head going, why did I come down here?
I guess the big deal about this is that
Well, for starters, they were able to print it. That's pretty cool.
Right, using a specially designed 3D printer,
Yeah,
which
printing electronics is neat.
3D printed semiconductors, which can replace those type of electronic components being fabricated in these micro fabrication facilities. So it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper if they can actually just 3D print them, as opposed to them needing to be manufactured in these specialized facilities. I guess that's probably the main takeaway of this. Again, it doesn't mean anyone's getting a bionic eye anytime soon. But who knows when that technology is ready.
But it'd be awesome, like even somebody like myself who really has no eyes, I could pop one in, look at something. I could hit a button on my phone or a keypad or whatever. It could OCR it. It could tell me what it is.
Sure.
That'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's Steve. He's looking old.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir. Hey, it wasn't me. It was my glass.
You know what the best part about this article, though, is one of the related articles at the bottom I really would like to click on, because it says bionic penis.
Don't do it.
Bionic penis man. Wait, bionic penis man takes to Reddit to reveal how his new mechanical manhood works.
That clickbait is so tempting, but no,
It is. It
don't
really
do
is. Or how about vegetable warfare? Bionic spinach being used to detect bombs.
What?
What?
Bionic spinach.
Come on, guys. We have to click on that. Bionic
right.
spinach
Well, let's
being
see.
used to...
Let's see how good Microsoft.
I'm probably going to get a virus now on my phone.
Do you know? I thought you were doing the Chrome browsers. I've got them open.
Oh, shoot.
Let's see how good Windows Defender is.
No, this is true. Experts place the microscopic tubes in the leaves of spinach in hope of making bomb detection easier and safer. What?
With spinach.
Once the tubes are inserted, the plant has the ability to detect nitroaromatics, elements found in landmines and other explosives.
Oh, I see. So you just plant it in a field and it'll tell you where the landmines are in the field.
Oh.
Wouldn't you love to be the guy who had the job planting it, though?
Dang. Yeah, that's right.
Little to the left, little to the left. No!
Found one.
Well, we don't need spinach there now.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, you learn something new every day. There you go, people. Bionic spinach.
It's the bomb.
Oh, gosh. All right, what is next? Actually, anything else to say about that? Bionic Eye? No? Nothing?
Nah.
Oh, hey.
Hey ho.
Here's a good one. What did you hear about all this Amazon news last week?
I did indeed.
Big flood of new announcements for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, most of it's being released next week.
For the Alexa Home Assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the car one doesn't seem to be available in Canada, though. That's one that I was kind of interested in.
What was the car one?
It's the last one on the list there, I think.
Okay, well, let's take a run through these.
Should we go through them?
Yeah, let's go through this.
Because I've heard Amazon's the new Skynet, eh?
Oh, yeah?
Everybody thought Google was going to take over the world, but it looks like Amazon's doing it now.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
As long as we get Prime.
I've got Prime.
All right. So last week, Amazon went on record and announced a bevy of new products that are coming out imminently, if not.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say a lot of this stuff is next week?
You sure bevy's the right word?
I don't know. I think so. How many does it have to be a bevy? Does it have to be over a certain amount?
Hey, Google.
I like to think that.
What's a bevy?
Here's the definition of bevy. A large group of people or things of a particular kind.
Cancel?
Okay.
Yeah, you used it correctly.
All right. Yeah,
All right, we'll go with
it's a large. It's fairly. It's
Because I would have used smattering, I'm just saying.
sizable. No,
That's
I feel like a smatter. Ask her what a smattering is.
Hey, Google. What's a smattering?
Here's the definition of smattering. A slight superficial knowledge of a language or subject.
Cancel?
Okay. So apparently I've been misusing that word my entire life.
Actually, so have I. That can't be. I don't think that's the only definition.
It probably just brings up the first one. If we brought up Wikipedia, there'd probably be 7.
I'm looking. I want to know.
Because I'm pretty sure smattering would be like, I would say more than 2,
No.
but less than 5.
No.
Yeah, I would.
I'm going to go with Google.
It's got to be a number. No, I don't think so.
No, I'm going with Google.
No, you wouldn't say I know a smattering of French.
Apparently you would.
Well, I wouldn't. But that could be because I've been using the word.
Yeah, it's just one definition at dictionary.com anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a slight superficial or introductory knowledge of something.
Stay tuned, folks, for a lot more useless information that you didn't want to know in this week's episode of AT Banter.
So how many of them are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7,
6, 7, 8, 9,
Okay.
10, 11, 12.
So a dozen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, those aren't all new, but those are the different.
Right. There's new generations of existing products.
Exactly. So, okay. Anyways, okay, but we digressed, obviously.
They should use that, right?
Oh my God.
That is correct.
All right, so what did they announce? Let's go through them. They announced the 2nd generation Echo Dot.
No, third. Third generation. Second generation's already been out.
Okay, let me start that over again. They announced the 3rd generation of the Echo Dot.
Yay!
It is more attractive. They've made it lovely. They've given it a nice fabric cover and an improved speaker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to possibly getting a third one.
It
Check out
looks
the speaker.
Yep. They announced the Echo Input, which is the answer to the Google Chromecast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small disc-shaped device that you can attach to any speaker. Costs about $35. They announced the Echo Sub, which is, of course,
Subwoofer
a subwoofer.
for your Amazon Echo Dot or other existing product.
Mm-hmm. About $130. These are probably all American prices, I'm assuming. The Echo Link and the Echo Amp Link, which are two receivers that provide multiple audio inputs and outputs, plus Ethernet. So I don't know, Ryan. What do you make of this?
I guess
You're the audiophile.
Yeah, I don't really know, because if you've got an Echo Dot, like I've got two Echo Dots already one's connected to a set of speakers in my living room, and I've got one in a bedroom. So I can already do kind of whole house audio with just the Echo Dots. You don't even need to have speakers because they are speakers. So I don't really, I guess if you want enhanced sound, then you would actually go with a dedicated receiver. You'd probably have these other devices like the Link as well as the Sub, and you'd have like your whole Amazon ecosystem that you could just talk to. You know, you can do that now, like Echo turn on your TV and do all that sort of stuff, but it takes smart plugs and all these other accessories to do that.
Now, this is actually a pretty cool idea, and this is actually like the idea of being able to expand on your existing device.
Yeah.
To be able to add a subwoofer and a receiver to your existing Dot or whatever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't thought of that, but that's actually. God, I wish Google would come out with something like that, because I would do that in a heartbeat. I would love to add a subwoofer to my Google Home. Okay, next, the Amazon Smart Plug, which is just
it's a smart plug.
You
can talk to.
Yep.
You'd say, Echo, turn on the light. It'll turn the light on.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
I've got one upstairs, but it's not an Amazon Smart Plug. It's a different smart plug.
Really? And
Different
that's
company. We've got it plugged into a wall outlet.
Yeah.
And one of our pole lamps is plugged into the smart plug. So anywhere in the house, Linda can just say, Echo, turn on the light, and the light turns on. So we could do that with light switches or TV or whatever.
But now the difference between this is that that functionality is built right into the plug. So you're actually talking to the plug,
not the Dot,
not your Echo that's then sending the.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that only works. Damn, I want one of those. Okay, this one cracked me up when I first heard about it last week, but it's a real thing. The Amazon Basics microwave. It's a tabletop microwave that has Alexa built right into it.
Yes, but it's pretty limited. From what I was reading, it's only about 700 watts, so it's fairly low power.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't talk back to you, so all you blind people out there, it's not speech feedback, it's just speech input. You can talk to it, say, boil water 3 minutes, or however that works, and it'll do that.
Well, that's lame.
It is lame, but it has a handy popcorn button. So it can tell when you're running out of microwave popcorn and order you more from Amazon.
What?
Yep.
No, it can't. What?
Yes, it can. Read the article.
How? How?
Through your shopping habits.
It counts.
It's linked. It counts.
Interesting. That's brilliant.
Yep.
Although it's great news for popcorn makers, I guess.
No, not
Although
really,
people
'cause
really shouldn't be.
popcorn suck.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. I never use microwave popcorn. It's garbage.
Yeah. Oh, they're invading the home.
But that's interesting. Okay, moving on. Here's another one. The Echo wall clock. It's an analog clock. It includes LED lights around the rim so that you can visually see Alexa-based timers counting down.
Yeah.
Now, what's unclear about that though is that, like, what else does it do? Is it fully?
It's just a clock.
I believe it tells the time.
Yeah. So you can probably say, a word, what time is it? It'll probably tell you the time. But even with the countdown timers, like if I set a timer on the Echo Dot, it doesn't count down from like 1 minute, 59, 58, 57.
No, of course,
it just starts going.
Yeah,
when
right.
the time's
Yeah,
up,
so
right?
does everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the Google Home does the same thing.
What good's a wall clock if you're visually impaired or blind?
Right. Sure.
I guess you could use it as a timer still, but it's not going to.
You know what? I mean, honestly, again, this just sounds like it's a peripheral that they thought would be cool. I mean, it's not. It's like $30.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just sounds like it's just a wall clock that will tie into.
Even the microwave is only $60.
Yeah,
you're
right.
That was something that surprised me.
Yeah, it's cheap. That's cheap as a microwave. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Another one, Ring StickUp Cam. This is a
Their doorbell,
new
isn't it?
entry into the Ring family of security devices, which I'm assuming there's like that's the doorbell.
They've got a doorbell and
video camera.
sensors and lights and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Security systems.
It's a security device, adds access control for compatible Schlage, Yale, Kwikset, and Dano. So a bunch of locks. It's basically for your
Your door.
door, and I guess it ties to your lock. So I guess
Yeah.
is it a security camera? You think?
Yeah. The Ring video doorbell that was actually bought by Amazon. As somebody walks up to the door, it actually has a sensor built into it, so the camera actually turns on and can send that feed to your phone. As soon as that button is pressed, it's activated as well, so you can actually have a two-way conversation with whoever's at the door. So they're very cool, but I wouldn't go with door locks myself. I'm not that secure in this technology yet.
Right.
Wi-Fi goes out, the door's unlocked. You're screwed.
I don't know, man. Like it seems like now it's so mainstream to be like totally super paranoid. Like remember in the 90s there was all those shows about like hackers and stuff, and you get the protagonist. Keanu Reeves would go up to like his hacker buddy, and he'd have to go through like the guy would have video cameras everywhere watching all the entrances, and he'd have to go into this big empty warehouse. And like, it sounds like that's just coming the mainstream, where like video doorbells and like people have to monitor their doorstep from their phones, so that
cameras front and back, and window sensors, door sensors.
Yeah, these are the sorts of things that I contemplated for my fallout shelter.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for my home.
yeah, exactly. Man. The Echo Show.
The Echo Show.
Second generation Echo Show is a bit more attractive than its angular predecessor. Now, listen, that's not nice.
Does this have a larger screen, I think?
Yes, it does. It features a bigger 10-inch display. It includes vastly improved sound and a fabric-covered back. And it includes Skype compatibility for video calls. So,
So the cool thing about that is you're now going to be able to make Skype calls to anybody in the world
now
from
for
your
those
Amazon Echo device.
Well, why don't you explain to people who may not know what the Echo Show first generation was?
The Echo Show is basically an Echo Dot with a screen on it.
Right. So there's a visual component.
Screen, right? Yeah. So if you're watching YouTube video or you're looking at recipes, a cooking show on YouTube, you can follow along with the screen if you've got sight.
Now, Google has just announced, or didn't they just come out with something
Lenovo
similar?
came out with one, which is using the Google Assistant. But again, Google's big announcement is here the next couple of weeks, so they could be releasing a new flood of stuff.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it'd be unusual for them to be this far behind. Although, mind you, as we know, like Amazon has been the leader in this historically. So it might kind of make sense that they would be a little bit ahead of the game in all this stuff.
Yep.
The Fire TV Recast is another one. Fire TV Recast is a new living room set-top box that will stream HD antenna-based TV shows to any Fire TV in your home. Record up to 4 shows and stream to multiple Fire TVs at once. Now, you haven't had the chance to play with a Fire TV, have you, Ryan?
No, I keep almost pulling the trigger on them because they're really dirt cheap. But I haven't been hearing a lot of great reviews on the voice feedback, so I haven't done it yet. But, if you want to pick up your over-the-air TV signals, this box sounds like it'll do that because it picks up your over-the-air antenna signals and it records shows, so it's your DVR as well.
Nice.
Now, if it's accessible, we don't know that yet. Does it have its screen reader built in?
Yeah.
Are the menus accessible? We just don't know that yet.
And last but not least was the one that Steve was talking about, the Echo Auto. So, which is it's the first automobile smart device that's basically a smart speaker for the car. Has 8 microphones and will cost about $50. And
so what does it do?
It doesn't really say. I imagine it's basically just an Echo for your car.
Yeah, it's a hands-free kit, essentially.
So does it have like a SIM card, or is it using mobile data? Is it using Wi-Fi off your phone?
I would think it would pair to your phone.
Like as a hotspot almost?
Probably. That'd be my guess. There's not a lot of detail on there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually go on to Amazon's U.S. site. I went to look for it on the Canadian site, and I couldn't find it. Let me just go in there now.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet CES in January, whenever it is, it's just going to be flooded with all this stuff.
Yeah,
it has been the
I'd
last
assume
couple
so.
of years, but more and more third parties are going to jump on the wagon as well, and the market's just going to be flooded with smart devices.
There we go. Okay, so pre-order available only by invitation.
Oh,
Right, and it's a special price. I think it's only like $25 if you.
It is request an invitation.
25
Do it.
bucks?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, that's American, but that's it.
Is there more of a
it's not-
description there?
Just looking here. Take Alexa on the road. Just ask Alexa to play music, resume your Audible book, check your calendar, find nearby businesses, make calls, and more. With 8 microphones, Echo Auto even hears you over road noise. Echo Auto starts up in seconds, works through your car speakers, and uses your existing smartphone plan.
Boom.
Ask Alexa to play a song, genre, artist, or station from Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, and more. With Audible, listen to the world's largest library of audiobooks, plus stream podcasts, get news, briefings, or keep the whole car entertained with games like Jeopardy and 20 Questions. Add items to your to-do and shopping list, set reminders, or manage your calendar while your eyes stay on the road. Ask Alexa to find nearby restaurants and reserve a table, make calls, send announcements, or use drop-in to connect with compatible Echo devices at home to check in with the family.
So I guess they're trying to compete in that arena with the Google Assistant, because even like with the Google Assistant now on your smartphone, I can pair our car with either the Bluetooth in our vehicle or even just through a wired connection, ask Google for directions or the closest restaurant, and it comes through our car stereo as well. So
Yeah. With location-based features, Echo Auto helps you get where you're going. Just ask for directions, and Alexa connects you to supported apps like Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze on your phone. You can also ask Alexa to find nearby gas stations, check traffic, and more. Voice control your home from the car.
Oh, damn.
Echo Auto works with thousands of compatible smart home devices so you can manage your household on the go. In a rush to get to work, ask Alexa to turn off the lights or turn down the thermostat from your car, or set up the smart home routines that automatically start when you pull in the driveway. Cool.
be great for your Jeep,
Yeah.
since your stereo doesn't work.
Yeah. There's that problem.
And with 8 microphones, it could actually hear you over the noise of the Jeep.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, that hands-free kit that was in that stereo I installed was awful.
Yeah.
Nobody could hear me.
Are you in a tank? Close.
Yeah, it sounded a bit like that.
That's, you know what? That's pretty cool. I would be genuinely shocked if we don't see a response from Google in a matter of, in short order.
Well, I guess you can probably already do that if you have Android Auto in your car. There's never been, I think, an Alexa
Sure.
Auto, right? So
I feel like a lot of these things you could already do with existing technologies. It's just the fact that, now you can do it all within the same ecosystem,
Right.
and you guaranteed that they're all going to work together without any sort of weird pairing issues that
Right.
if you try to, pair a Bluetooth receiver to your Google Home, it might be possible, but it might not work as easily as if Google has some specifically branded
Right.
product. So I think we're going to see. I think you're right. I think we're going to see some announcements from Google pretty quick. Which is good. Competition is great. I would love to see some of this stuff come to the Google ecosystem so I can take advantage. 'Cause I'd like a subwoofer for my
Google and Amazon, the Coke and Pepsi of home automation.
That's right. Pretty much. Yeah, I guess that war's kind of cool. I guess they just figured eventually, at some point in the early 90s, just everybody who's going to be a Coke person is a Coke person, and everyone who's going to be a Pepsi person is a Pepsi person. And
although there's now new talk
now you're just
of
born
this,
into it.
new talk of this company, isn't it Aurora, who's talking about pot-infused Coca-Cola?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, I did hear about that, yeah. Yeah, you can get your buzz on while you're drinking your Coke.
They're talking about putting pot and alcohol?
Well, that's already been done.
Oh, has it?
Really?
Yeah,
Because the craft breweries are working on it. So.
No, my buddy Scott up in Grand Forks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, True North Distilleries. They made a marijuana infused Irish whiskey.
And how is it?
It was my suggestion.
Of course it was.
So was the Irish whiskey for that
Of course
matter.
it was. And how was it?
It was actually not bad.
Yeah.
First off, what he discovered was that Canada only regulates THC
Right.
in alcohol, so you could only have up to a certain amount of THC. But all of the other cannabinoids, they don't test for. So CBD, they don't test for that.
Right.
So he was basically told by them, you can put as much CBD in there as you want to, but you can only put this amount of THC. And he was also. I probably shouldn't say this on air. Never mind. I'll tell you after. Anyhow, so he went out and he found this guy who was producing hemp in Saskatchewan, which was high CBD hemp, but of course low THC because it's hemp.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a butane extractor. So you basically stuff your plant matter into this butane extractor. You blast butane through it. It strips all of the oils out of it, and then the butane evaporates off, and you can collect it into a canister so you don't waste all the butane. And then what you're left with is you're just left with this essential oil from the plant. You can actually do it with any plant. If you could make essential, jasmine oil if you wanted to with it as well.
So are we drunk, stoned, or both?
At the end of the day, when I finally got to try it, you get a pleasant buzz. It's just a pleasant buzz. It's not, you don't feel high. You just get this really kind of pleasant buzz that goes along with the alcohol. But what to me was interesting is the big difference between Irish whiskey and Scotch whiskey is that Scotch whiskey, the barley is dried with a peat fire. So you pick up the smoke from the peat. And that's what makes Scotch uniquely distinct. With Irish whiskey, you dry your barley. First, you germinate your barley, and then you dry your barley with hot air, so you don't pick up that peat flavor. But when you add the hemp oil into it, it picks up something that is remarkably similar-ish to peat, but it's not peat. But it kind of makes it taste a bit like a Scotch whiskey. And it was very good. I didn't think it would be as good as it was, but it was very good.
Interesting.
And as soon as he produced it, it immediately sold out.
Oh, really?
Immediately.
Wow.
Just boom, gone.
Yeah, it won't be long before there's vodka and everything else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be coming.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you just give the recipe on how to infuse pot into, that's going to get us thrown off iTunes. Have to bleep some of that.
We'll have to change
And then you
our rating.
boop, and then boop.
Butane extractor, folks, look it up.
Where the hell were we? So I think that's everything that we need to say about the
Amazon story.
Amazon stuff.
Good job, Amazon.
Yep.
Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
I am curious to try out one of these devices with the screen. I would like to see kind of what that. Do you think they're all going that way? Do you think that eventually, in 4 or 5 years, that's just how the home is going to become?
I don't think so.
You can already get TVs with Amazon Alexa built in and Google Assistant. So you'll have your 65-inch roll-up TV and just say, hey, tune to channel 25. It'll go to 25. It's all going to be that way.
Oh, I'm just kind of thinking back to, say, the iPods. Remember the first couple of generations of the iPod that was just the click wheel, right? And you didn't really have any sort of a display or anything on it, or you had a really rudimentary display. I'm just wondering if this current generation of digital assistants will be, sort of archaic in the sense that they'll just all start coming with screens.
I'd be surprised because I think, one, it's going to keep the price down to not have a screen on it.
True.
And two, I think one of the reasons these types of devices have been so successful is because they're quite discreet looking. They're not a screen. They don't take up a lot of space. So I think, for somebody who wants a screen, having a device with a screen, sure, makes sense. Yeah. But there's a lot of other uses for these, I think, that pure audio devices are probably
Yeah, good point.
fine.
Good point.
Wait till Prime Day, then buy one cheap.
And especially, I guess,
Or Black Friday.
it does kind of make sense because, I think that the majority of usage out of any one of these digital assistants is a lot of times music.
Yeah.
Listening to audiobooks and stuff. So a lot of it is audio based anyways. There's not a lot of video stuff going on, but still, I would like to control my TV with my voice. Although it'd probably get burdensome after a while. I mean, I guess I can already do that. I've got a Chromecast and I've got a Google Home. So, I mean, you can certainly.
Yeah, you just need
it,
some smart plugs so you can actually tell it to turn on, turn off.
Oh, that's going to be cool. I love it. Hey, let's talk about nanoparticles.
Yeah, this one weirded me out. I honestly don't understand how this works.
I think I do. So the deal with it, vision improving nanoparticle eye drops could end the need for eyeglasses. So this comes to us out of Israel, specifically the Shar Zadak Medical Center in the Bar-Ilan University. Little note, I probably mispronounced all of those words.
Apologies to every Jew who heard that.
But, however, they have invented and tested what they're calling nanodrops, which when combined with a laser process, reportedly leads to improvements in both near and farsightedness. How does this work, you ask?
Yes, we do.
The invention includes 3 parts. The first of these steps involves an app on the patient's smartphone or mobile device that measures their eye refraction. A laser pattern is then created and projected on the corneal surface of the eyes. This surgical procedure, and that should be in quotes because I don't understand how it's a surgical procedure.
It's probably etching the eye with the cornea or something.
Anyways, it takes less than 1 second, they say. Finally, the patient uses eye drops containing what they're calling special nanoparticles. So these nanoparticles go into the shallow patterns generated on the surface of the cornea. They change the refraction index inside of these patterns. This corrects the visual problem the user has. The process of correction can be done at home without the need of a medical doctor. They go on to say that the treatment differs substantially from regular laser eye surgery, which removes a significant portion of the cornea, the transparent layer that forms the front of the eye. The benefit of this approach, of course, is not only does it mean that the treatment can be safely carried out in a patient's home without medical supervision, but it should prove effective for far more patients. The downside, they say, is because it's a milder treatment, the eye will gradually heal itself, which means the improvements will subside and the patients would need to repeat the process, they say, every 1 to 2 months. So, thoughts?
Steve, you going to sign up for it? Human trial.
No.
No?
Well, where are they at with this? They say they have so far carried out ex vivo, what the hell does that mean? Ex vivo experiments on pig eyes. So we have a lot of pigs running around with really, really good vision. What's ex vivo? Does anyone know what that means?
Hey, Google, what does ex vivo mean?
According to Wikipedia, in science, ex vivo refers to experimentation or measurements done in or on tissue from an organism in an external environment with minimal alteration of natural conditions.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so I guess it's worked on pig eyes,
Well, how about that?
which probably weren't attached to a pig. I'm assuming.
Maybe not.
So it sounds like it's still in the early stages,
but
obviously. But
How did they give the pig the eye test?
So does that make more sense to you now? So it sounds like, I mean, I don't know. It just
Well, here's they talk about it, your smartphone having an app, right?
yeah.
and then they talk about lasers.
So I'm assuming
Where'd the lasers come from?
I think you look into here's how I'm interpreting this. So it sounds like you would look into your phone and it would shoot lasers out of your phone somehow.
And
My
map
phone
it.
doesn't have that feature.
And map the
Because
cornea.
believe me, if my phone had a frickin' laser in it,
it does. It just
there would have been some people melted down in traffic by now.
But wait, but it has like a barcode reader when it can. Isn't that a laser?
No.
Oh well, okay. I'm assuming. Well, okay. So maybe you need a special attachment. For
Well,
your
no,
phone.
sorry. A barcode reader, yeah. Barcode readers typically are laser scanners, but
Right.
the ones in your phone are just using your camera.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I don't know. They don't explain that part of it. Maybe
See,
maybe that's a feature that
me-
they're planning on the new iPhone.
to me,
explain the price.
I'm far more interested in the laser phone.
In any case, the rest of it sounds like potentially that makes sense to me. Have little nanoparticle robots going into your eye that attach to your cornea, and okay, that does sound creepy now that I'm saying it out loud, but I don't know. It sounds pretty out there. But to be honest, like I remember when LASIK laser surgery first, came out, that freaked me out. I didn't get it. I had a buddy that did, but I was just like, no way. Because they don't really even know what the far-flung effects are going to be on this. Everybody who had LASIK 20 years from when they got it could go blind and no one would know until 20 years later.
Well,
Hasn't happened, but there have been some.
That's a real bummer there, eh? Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Leave your eyes alone.
Yeah, don't shoot lasers in your eyes. I learned that really early on. Don't look at the sun and don't shoot lasers in your eyes.
It's been at least 20 years since they started doing that procedure.
I know. Yeah, it has. It has. And I guess,
Well, I think now they can
joke's
correct-
on me, I guess.
Yeah, they can correct both near and farsightedness now with lasers and.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a bit leery
it.
about doing that.
Do
I think
it.
I'd rather wear glasses than.
The glasses make you look smart.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get.
Without them, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you're just used to seeing with glasses. To
I
me, he's
didn't
always
take
looked
your
like an
bait.
idiot.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Don't be sorry. That was a good one.
I don't know. So would this be something you would ever do, Steve? If say they develop this and they get it right, and it's a brand new technology, would you jump on board?
No, because I'm going to be too busy playing with my laser phone.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Well,
I don't
let me
think I
ask-
would do it either.
Let me ask you guys this question:
Uh-huh.
Has there ever been a human trial that you've thought about actually submitting yourself to?
I don't know. I'm not on any good email lists for what they're up to.
No.
I mean, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely, I would volunteer for the Dorito Corporation to like try out new
New
flavors.
flavors. Yeah,
I'd be down with that.
I don't even have a tattoo.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
You've talked
me
about
neither.
this drawing that you've had in your mind for years,
Yep.
but you still don't have the tattoo.
Still don't have the tattoo.
I gotta do something about that.
Nope. Not unless I can etch it on my body with my very own laser phone.
Yeah, you're right. The laser. Now I really want a laser phone. Or you could build it right into your home. Screw that. Build it into your doorbell, your video doorbell. Have a laser in it as well.
Ooh, you press
Home defense.
press the doorbell, it automatically scans your eyes and corrects your vision.
Yeah, I like it.
My eyes.
Ding dong. I can see. It's a miracle.
Yeah,
Oh,
then you get
dear.
that poor bastard with the 3D printed camera in his eyes. Ah!
You're short
Fried my electronics. Stupid laser phone.
I tell you, technology, it's a wonderful thing.
It is.
Well, that'll be something to keep an eye out for.
Oh.
Thank you.
That was a cornea joke.
Oh, damn. Oh.
But you weren't with the jokes before, so that means you're an apt pupil.
Oh, he's on a roll.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, speaking of marijuana.
Were we speaking of marijuana?
I think we were earlier. See, poor people down in the States are just going to be like, think the Canadians are just all just pot heathens.
Not till October.
That's right. It's going to be legal here, folks. So we're not talking about anything untoward.
But not edibles
in
yet.
our society.
Not edibles yet.
Completely legit.
Still sad.
Above board. It's just like a bottle of wine.
Pot infused wine.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, you could bet there'd be some stay-at-home moms who'd be signing up for that. So what? There's weed in my Chardonnay? I'm in.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
No, this, and this has nothing to do with assistive technology at all. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
So I've added it.
Alrighty.
Restaurant wants to use marijuana to ease lobster's pain.
I read this article. I thought it was great.
I thought so too. Listen, I'm not a big lobster fan. I know that's unusual. Most people love lobster. I've never been a big lobster fan. However, that being said, I don't know. It always bummed me out, this idea of like boiling these guys alive. Like, that's just a bummer. That just bums me out. So, what this restaurant in Maine has done is
relaxed the lobster. They're still alive, but supposedly now they're saying that the lobster's not, I'm not going to say like the article does, not feeling pain because they have no way of measuring that. I'm going to say the lobster's more relaxed and he's not thrashing about anymore, trying to kill you.
How do you know he's not like paranoid?
He could
maybe,
be.
but he should rightly be.
They're going to put me in a pot, man. They're going to put me in a pot. You just watch. Oh, George, don't get stupid, man. Nobody's putting you in a pot. They're going to put me in a pot, man. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, you really need to stop breathing the water, man.
So apparently this restaurant owner has tested this out. She says that in a series of tests, restaurant employees put a lobster in a small container and added a few inches of water. They then channeled marijuana smoke through a tube until the container was filled with it and kept the lobster in there for about 3 minutes. Before the lobster went into the container, it would flap its tail and click and wave its claws. After being exposed to the smoke, however, the lobster was docile and serene. It's still a very alert lobster, but there's still no sign of agitation, no flailing of legs, no trying to pinch you. So calm, in fact, that you're able to freely touch the lobster all over without them trying to strike at you or be aggressive in any way.
The lobster be tripping balls.
Goes on to talk about the restaurant owner, Miss Gill, who is 47, grows the marijuana at her home, and she said she had a license to do so.
And there's more to the article. You know, it
There
goes on for
is,
a while.
but I mean, hey, look, listen.
Experiment. Are they going to do the same with cows now, leading them to slaughter?
Sure, why not?
You know,
Why not give
eggs.
pot to everything? just why not?
Maybe they'll get better eggs out of hens.
Sure. I mean, listen.
It's a whole new agriculture economy.
Yeah. Well, listen, pain management. I mean, in all, like, we're making kind of light of this, but it obviously, it has all kinds of medicinal effects, and it
Absolutely.
would act as a sedative, I'm sure. And why not? Why shouldn't the lobster, feel good?
It's funny.
Feel good while it's being boiled alive.
In the last week, I've taken my mom to a pain management clinic. She's 84. She's got arthritis as well as macular degeneration. And she's always had neck problems and nerve pain in her face. And at various points, they've had her on drugs all the way up to hydromorphone, like morphine,
Right.
to manage the pain. And she's off that now. Her last doctor, I think, got her off that stuff and got her onto Tylenol, which seems to be okay. But she went to the pain management clinic because her family doctor, was suggesting that maybe she look at getting fentanyl, which is another highly addictive, and extremely volatile drug.
Sure.
And went to the pain management clinic, and the guy suggested she try medical marijuana. So that surprised the heck out of me. And then I go over to do a show over in Victoria with a low vision group over there. and start talking to them, and turns out like half of them are on marijuana in one form or another, whether it be CBD oil for helping them sleep or one thing or another. But you know, it's amazing, actually, you know,
how many people
now
are
that I'm talking to
prescribed.
seniors about it, how many of them are on the weed.
Yeah, sure. Illicit. I mean, it has a lot of really positive.
Linda's uncle in Kelowna has a friend who lives across the street from him who's got a brain tumor, and he's been on medical, I don't know if it's oil or what it is, for the last year or so.
Yeah.
And, you know, helping manage his pain. And
Sure.
yeah.
So it's about, you know, they need to realize that. They need to realize that, like, you know, in other countries, U.S.
Well, prescription drugs are so unhealthy for you, right? You know.
Well, parts of the U.S. beat us to the
That's true. That's
legalization
true.
country,
So who? Well, Washington
Colorado.
and Colorado, right? Are the two,
California.
and California.
California.
Good for them. Good old West Coast.
Colorado is one of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The Mile High City.
The Mile High City.
So man, we are just full of puns.
Aren't we?
today.
Yeah, jeez.
There's next to no useful information, but puns we have.
Yeah, so what else we got? We got any more news?
Just
don't
the
think
one,
so.
I think. The
Wait.
CNIB story.
Oh, right, the CNIB
I
story.
forgot about the CNIB story. My
Yeah,
apologies.
CNIB.
Ryan, why don't you take
I'll tab over the Word doc there.
take it
Give
over?
them your phones.
Give them your phones.
CNIB is going to refurbish phones for people. So if you've got an old smartphone kicking around, toss it their way, and they will
wipe it, make sure it's factory reset, install certain apps. They don't say which apps, but certain apps to help blind and low vision people use their phone in an efficient manner, an effective manner.
Yeah, this is they quote an interesting statistic here that says 46% of Canadians who are blind don't actually own a smartphone, which, you know, you kind of forget that, you know, smartphones are a luxury, and not everybody, you know, has the dough to shell out even for you know, our cell phone plans aren't the greatest up here.
Oh, they suck. Canadian cell phone plans are amongst the most expensive in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
It's absolutely crazy. So I could totally see not everyone being able to afford one of the plans. So this is a great program.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a good thing they're doing, and fully support it. Now, the one thing for me, I would never give them my used phones, because I have kids who constantly drop their bloody phones and smash them. So I've got to keep any of them that survive the process. I've got to keep for when they go, oh, I broke my phone. Here, you're back on an iPhone 3, you crazy bugger.
See, I think they're at the age now, Steve, where you could say, you're an adult, go get your own phone.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. So it's this is a initiative called Phone It Forward. I'm assuming that if you go to the CNIB website, should have more information there in terms of where you would donate your old phone to if you were so desiring to.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they don't say anything about, you know, locked phones, unlocked phones. It doesn't seem to matter. So if you got an old phone kicking around,
I'm sure the first thing they do is wipe it. I mean, you should probably wipe it yourself before you donate it, obviously. But
well, the part of the announcement says that through a partnership with Fixed Wireless Repair, donated smartphones are going to be wiped to the highest data security standards.
yes,
So
there you go.
there you are.
Get all those nudes off your phone before you send it in. Just saying.
Good point.
Well,
that was a lot of news.
It was. Good thing it was a news show.
yeah. It's just too bad our mystery guest wasn't able to join us.
Well, we can make the next one with mystery guest more about mystery guest, because mystery guest also auditioned for a mystery show.
Right, and I think what we'll do is
So many mysteries.
I'll reach out to our mystery guest to see if we can get her on the Halloween episode.
Ooh,
Because there she is.
there she is.
Alexis.
She's there.
Yes, hello.
Hi, she's here.
I'm so happy to have power. Oh my gosh.
Yay, she made it.
Of course,
Being so amazing.
That's awesome, because we just finished the news show. Now we can spend an hour talking about you.
yeah.
All right.
Perfect timing.
Amazing. You guys are great. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, there's a power outage like in half of the neighborhood, so Anyway,
fun.
here we are.
Well, we've been hinting and hawing and teasing out who our mystery guest host was supposed to be for today. So I guess, Rob, why don't we spoil the surprise?
Okay,
and
go
tell
for it.
everybody who our guest host is.
You're up. Go.
All right. Our guest host today is YouTube sensation, host of her own show, Alexis Hillyard, StumpKitchen.com.
Hello.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
So excited. You folks, AT Banter was the very first podcast interview I ever did at the very, very beginning of my Stump Kitchen career. And now it's like 2 years later or something. So yeah, it's so cool to like chat with you again.
And you are on fire.
And we
Yes.
take full credit for it.
That's right.
Yes, it's all you. It's all AT Banter for sure.
Coincidence?
That's right. Take
No,
that,
I think
CBC.
Yeah,
No, I'd say yes, it is. It's all you.
it's the AT banter bump.
But yeah, thank you. It's been a wild couple of years, that's for sure.
Well, why don't we get caught up if these guys have some time and just find out what's been going on?
Yeah, we have time.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's see. Last we talked, I think I had about seven episodes out, I think, and now I have like over 100.
Nice.
And I've had lots of different guests and
Yeah, I keep
couple
seeing your
different-
guests coming up on my Facebook feed.
yeah. And a couple different CBC contracts, like with CBC Parents and CBC, like just for their online platforms. And I'm filming another one right now for them as well. Yeah, I've won some neat awards in Edmonton here, like the View Magazine Best of Edmonton for Food Blog.
Nice.
And then I just had a MasterChef Canada audition, like literally yesterday.
Yeah,
we want to talk about that if you're allowed to talk
Sure,
about it.
yeah, I'm totally allowed to talk about it. There's a couple things I can't mention, but most of it is totally talkable, aboutable.
First question is, are you going to be on the show?
I hope so. So we actually don't know yet. We have to wait about 3 to 4 weeks because they're still doing auditions. And then after they are done all the auditions they're doing Vancouver and Toronto still. They've already done the East Coast. I think they've done Winnipeg. So once they're done all the auditions, then they get to rank everyone and pick their top 40. So yeah, I have to wait a few more weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was really intense. So you do like they put the call out and then you do like a written kind of questionnaire. And then if they like your written answers, then they'll give you a phone interview. And then if they like your phone interview, they ask you to come in for an in-person audition, which is what was yesterday. And I drove down to Calgary to do that. And they say to like, bring your best dish that describes you and just shows your personality. So of course, I made vegan and gluten-free chicken and waffles. It was really good. People were like, "Oh, okay." I was kind of the odd one in the bunch. It was really cool. Lots of people with like really diverse food backgrounds and stuff. And you roll up at actually, getting there was hilarious because I had a gig on Friday night, and then I drove down. Saturday night. And then I drove to Calgary that evening from 8 p.m. till about 11. And then went to bed for 5 hours, got up at 5 a.m. and cooked for 3 hours straight. 2.5 hours straight, and then had to be there for 8 a.m. So I was like just a total mess. Like coffee was my savior at that point. But I didn't burn anything. I didn't drop anything. My partner drove me. It was really great. Got there, got all signed up, and you have to sign a release form. You have to take a photo. And then we sat in this great room for a while. We got to meet some previous season winners and April from last season or the season before got to chat with us. She's working in Calgary now. So that was really cool. And then we all got shuffled into this big room and we had to plate our dishes in 3 minutes. They gave us 3 minutes. And they said, okay, arms off. And then we had to show the judges. And there was one professional judge who had worked all over the world. And he was like a chef. He's a chef. And he spent about 10 minutes with every person. Like he went from plate to plate and just tasted them and gave you like some pointers and talked a bit about your life. And that took like 3 or 4 hours. And it was like really hard to tell what he was thinking, and he was scoring us. So we really had no idea. But when he was done with your dish, then we could taste each other's stuff. So that was great. Like just seeing all the cool stuff that other people had come up with. And there was a lot of amazing competition. And then we had a bit of a lunch break, and then some people they got to go, and then some of us were kept after for a longer interview, which apparently is a good sign. So I did an interview for about half an hour on camera, and then I guess if they like it, they'll decide later, and hopefully I can go to Toronto and be on the show. So,
I think it'd be great. My wife and I are huge fans of the MasterChef show, and even on AT Banter, we had Christine Haw, who is a blind MasterChef.
No way, you had Chris. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we had her on the show last year.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'd be great to get you on there. And one of my questions for you was, are you willing to taste these foods because you are gluten-free, veganese? You're not going to be cooking that all the time, right? So are you going to taste your buffalo to make sure it's cooked properly?
That's such a great question. I really I struggled with, if I do find out that I'm on the show, then we have a week or two to kind of prepare. And I'm like, okay, am I going to cook a bunch of meat to practice, or am I just going to wing it when I get there? Because I don't buy meat. I don't eat meat. So I'm conflicted about how much prep I should do or not do. But then if and when I'm on the show, I'm going to avoid tasting it as much as I can, but you have to, in order to create a really good dish, you have to taste your food. And so I will do some of it, but I'm not going to eat too much gluten if I can handle it, just because that doesn't do good things to my tummy, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, but meat I can handle physically. I just choose not to eat it. So it'll be an interesting dance I'll have to do, I think. So yeah.
We're rooting for you for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
There.
You've been around since the very beginning. So it's pretty cool.
So when would you have to practice for?
So
says the guy coming to Edmonton in October. Because if you need somebody to try out your meat on,
could you imagine? Yeah, just come over and do some barbecue for you. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm going to Edmonton now too.
Yeah, we find out in a couple, 3 or 4 weeks. I think the week of October 20th, and then if I get on the show, the filming happens in November and the beginning of December in Toronto. So. Yeah, I'd have about a week to prepare.
Cool.
So, yeah, and that's about all I know. They don't tell you anything. They're very they're not hush hush, but they just give you the information that you need at the time. They don't give much away. But the interview was really cool. They had you kind of on your toes, and they even gave you a little mystery box challenge near the end, which I can't really talk too much about, but it really made you think on your toes. It was really funny. It was really cool.
Did you get to run into the pantry and grab all your groceries?
No, no, it wasn't even that big. It was it's much smaller scale. If it makes it to the show, you'll get a sense of what it was. But no, it was much more small and more kind of cute and fun.
So let's talk a little bit about the YouTube channel and just with the changes that it's gone through since we talked to you last.
Sure.
And I don't know, I'm curious to know what has that trajectory kind of been like for you, because I forget what your subscriber count was when we first talked to you, but clearly it's kind of gone through the roof since then. What's that been like? What kind of roller coaster has that been?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I think when we last talked, I probably had 100 subscribers. I'm not really sure. And my subscriber count for YouTube, it's about just under 2,500, which for a YouTube channel, that's still quite small. But I find with social media, looking at things like Instagram, Facebook, even Twitter, that's where a lot of my audience is very interactive and really that's how they engage with the show. The YouTube, yes, that's the same. The subscribers are wonderful, but I find I really had to take a multi-platform approach to get the engagement that the show really needs. So that's a great, I think, for an up and coming YouTuber or content creator, getting on all the platforms you can and engaging with different audiences rather than relying on one platform is super important. So Instagram, I didn't know how to do that when I started YouTube. And so now I'm just I'm learning really fast how to be good on Instagram, because that's where you get a lot of really great followers.
You want to teach Rob?
Yeah, totally. Well, I tell my mom, like my mom has Instagram. It's great. It's hilarious.
He just keeps posting photos of us.
But Instagram is good for video, right?
For
like
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's Instagram TV now, like where you can put like vertical video on. So I'm starting with that too. But yeah, it's been an incredible trajectory. Like I've kind of kept the basic format of having guests on the show. A new guest every week. Sometimes I'll do solo, but usually I'll have a guest because it's just really fun. I do lots of cooking with kids, especially kids with limb difference, and a couple of like local, not really like chefs, but like different like local quote unquote celebs, I guess, here and there. And then I've like branched out to do more episodes called, I call them Stump Chats, but it's like where I do like a sit down or a kind of informal talk with somebody who also has a limb difference or whatever. And we talk about what it's like, to live with one hand or one leg and talk about the questions that we get. So that's been a really cool growth for the channel. And it's been, I think, a really important education piece for a lot of people to kind of learn about, limb difference in a fun and safe way. And it also gives people a chance to tell their stories. And I love it. Like anytime I get to talk with someone who has a limb difference, it's like such a treat and it doesn't feel like work. Like it's just so, so nice. So yeah, the show's kind of branched out and grown in some different ways. And I've tried a few different things like, close-up shots of me preparing different vegetables or talking about, getting a violin arm prosthetic. So not just cooking, although cooking is the primary focus of the show. I've tried a couple other things that I think people are liking. So yeah.
Now are those? So are you sort of creating that as content within the Stump Kitchen channel, or are you branching off and trying using that for content for other channels?
Yeah, that's a good question. For the most part, I am using a lot of it for Stump Kitchen, particularly when I feel like it fits. But there have been a couple things where I've just posted on Facebook or just posted on Instagram. And I also on a different YouTube channel, which isn't that active, but just for fun, I'm doing like left-handed, upside down, one-handed ukulele tutorials that, are just super cute. And a couple people are just like, hey, this is really great. Like I play upside down too. And like, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's kind of nice having content, for your YouTube channel that makes sense with your theme and what you're doing, but then having some other weird things that people can see in different platforms to kind of get to know a different side of you. So yeah, it's been neat. I think like once you're a content creator, you're always a content creator for different platforms. And it's just like always on your mind, like, what can I do next? What can I film? So yeah, it's cool.
Now, what about has the way that you actually film changed at all? Because I think last time we talked to you, you were just kind of like, your partner just kind of films you on an iPhone.
Oh my
gosh, have you stepped up your technological game at all?
Oh, completely. Like, so I started off and my partner Allison was filming with my iPhone. We had no lighting, no nothing. She would literally just stand there and film me and like move around. But since then I progressed into getting a tripod. Then I progressed into using lamps in my house, like in my kitchen. And then when I got my first CBC contract, they said, we really want to work with you, but we can't have you use your phone. You have to like either rent or buy a camera, like a good camera. So that really forced me to get, a more like a suitable camera for video and content creating. So I got a camera last year. Just this past year in January. Yeah. So almost a year ago, I got a GH5, which is like a really, really good camera. And I treat it like my baby. And now I use that for most of the episodes, although I will default to my phone now and again if I need to, or just for fun. But that's been a huge learning curve. I've had to like learn how to use it on YouTube and like different tutorials online. The lighting is more sensitive. I have to be really careful about what kind of lighting I use. So it's made me a better editor and content creator, but it's also added a lot of work to the whole process. So it's been really, really lovely and cool. It's just it's more high tech. It takes more time,
Sure. So an average episode takes a little bit longer to edit these days.
It does. Like it's about like, it's like an hour, depending on what you're doing in a video. If you're doing like very straightforward, smash editing, whatever, it's usually like an hour per minute. But if you're doing more intense things and with some of the effects that I use and different text and stuff, it can be like an hour and a half, give or take a bit per minute. So like a 5-minute episode, well, mine are usually longer than that, but say a 5-minute episode could be anywhere from 7.5 to 10 hours. And then typically mine are like 8, 9 or 10, 11 minutes. So yeah, it takes a long time.
Now, are you still weekly, like producing them weekly?
Yeah. I was trying, like every week for sure. And I'm getting more, like before, I think when we last talked, I wasn't super regular in terms of when I would post, but now it's, I aim for every week on Wednesdays, anytime on Wednesday, because I can't stick to a certain time because it all depends on whatever, but like Wednesdays is my day. And once in a while, if I have extra stuff, I'll put out 2 episodes in a week, but typically 1, just because that's the most manageable. So yeah, weekly on Wednesdays.
Now, earlier last year, you posted out that you'd started a Patreon account.
Yeah.
Did that work out for you? I'm very curious about that.
Yes. And I believe I am talking to one of my patrons, aren't I?
Well, at least, yes, you are. Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I have AT Banter on my wall. It's wonderful. So yeah, I launched that, I don't even know now, a year and a half ago. And it's been wonderful. I have about 270 patrons, I think.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
it's helping to support over half of my living expenses, which is just wonderful.
Wait.
So,
I'm paying half your rent?
yeah, exactly.
I better check
meal.
that Patreon account.
Hang on a second. Yeah, you're buying my coffees. No, like it's the money that I'm able to use to live, to do this full time. It's what's essentially my salary. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I top it up with, I do individual cooking classes for kids mostly. I work 1 day a week at a cafe, and then any like other gigs like speaking engagements or workshops that I might do kind of help top up my income. But yeah, Patreon has been an incredible way to like connect with a different audience and give people an opportunity to support in a really neat way that like lets me do the work that I want to do, but lets them kind of like be a part of a weird family of like, I don't know, Patreon supporters. And I also support a bunch of creators on Facebook or creators on Patreon as well. Just like a handful. And it's just such a lovely thing to like literally buy your art direct in, like just be like, yeah, I support you. And so here you go. I like what you make. Yeah. And it's just a cool thing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Are you still providing merchandise?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's just stumpkitchen.com. There's like aprons, mugs, stickers, that kind of stuff. A good friend of mine was making patches, not anymore, but they're the ones that are there that are online. There's a couple still available, like different patches that she's embroidered that are kind of cute. But yeah, lots of different things. I've sent mugs and aprons and different things to Germany and where was the other one? Australia, different places in Canada. It's been really cool to see like what people like who's like I'm in Germany and I want a Stump Kitchen apron. It's just like, yes, okay, you're awesome, thank you. So yeah, I still have all that stuff available for sure.
So what's next? What's your next big adventure after you win MasterChef?
Well, so a couple things. My next Patreon goal, or one of the main Patreon goals, is to grow enough that I can sustainably travel more. So go to the cities that have, people that I'd love to collaborate with, film with. So doing some more on location shoots to meet more kids with limb difference, adults with limb difference, other creators, and just cook with them all over the country. Like I'd love to do a kind of not like a tour, but like be able to go to different cities in Canada to connect and film with folks and create just fun, messy vegan food with them. Like I could come to you and we could hang out on the coast and do all the things.
Yep.
That would be really fun.
I'm in.
Drink pot infused whiskey.
There you go.
Right? Why not? That would be great.
We covered
So
that
just
earlier in the episode.
So just more traveling that way and more connection. And then obviously the MasterChef thing is really up in the air. So that's kind of a big thing coming up, this next CBC project. And then, just more collaboration and just seeing what happens. Like the whole journey has been so beautiful to do. And I just like let things happen as they do and just kind of follow the energy. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, you definitely have to keep us up to date then on the MasterChef situation.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll hear about it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
That's
And
because
how
she's gonna
have
make it.
you guys been?
We're still doing the show week after week after
You keep
week.
showing up, and I don't know. There's still mics here every day, and every week. So we just kind of talk, and
I keep finding guests who want to talk to us.
yeah, I don't know. We're up to every time we do a new episode. I look at the number and I'm like, wow, 120. We've done this 120 times.
Nice.
I haven't even done things that I like 120 times.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I guess if nothing, we're persistent, I guess.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Well, you two are persistent. I just show up.
Yeah, that's
You just roll in.
Ryan just keeps phoning people and convincing them to show up. Well, listen, thanks so much for stopping by and chatting with us for a bit.
I'm so glad it worked out. Thank you for your patience. That was amazing. And I guess we'll connect. Hopefully, let's not wait another 2 years. Let's connect a bit sooner than that.
Absolutely. As soon as this MasterChef is done with, let's do a whole episode and let's dive deeper into what's been going on.
Don't go yet.
Okay, what do you got?
We got to find out where people can get a hold of Alexis. She's all over the place now.
I wasn't gonna hang up on her, dude. I was segueing.
I thought it clicked.
I'm a professional. I've done this 120 times. I know what I'm doing.
That's right. You know.
All right,
okay,
sorry.
but you go.
I'll
You
step
go.
back.
No, you go ahead. No.
All right, Steve, go.
Why don't you two get married already?
Get a room.
So, Alexis.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Wonderful. So just on YouTube, the channel is called Stump Kitchen. Also, my website is stumpkitchen.com. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So just search Stump Kitchen and you'll find me in all those places.
Excellent.
And we'll include all of that in our handy dandy show notes as well.
Can't wait. That's so great. Thanks again so much for having me. This was such a pleasure.
Oh, so great
Fantastic,
catching
Alexis.
up and so great to see you having all this success. It's great to see.
Thank you. You're the best.
Okay, we will talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Have a
Alexis.
great one.
Thanks,
Okay,
Alexis.
bye.
Bye.
Keep the power on.
Hey, speaking of people finding us, Ryan,
So, Ryan,
Yes.
where can people find us?
They can find us online at www.atbanter.com.
They can also drop us an email, atbanterpodcast@gmail.com.
And I also heard there's this company called Canadian Assistive Technology.
Whoa, hold on. You're jumping the gun?
yeah, you're totally
Clearly,
jumping the gun,
dude.
dude. Yeah, you forgot.
Yeah, we forgot
we
the
got to talk about the
Facebook
Facebooks
and
and the
the
Twitters
Oh,
and the
all right.
Instagrams.
Rewind.
And, yeah, we've got all of that stuff for AT Banter
wow.
too.
Where-
we
what
are
are-
social media junkies.
Why are you looking at me?
You're supposed to segue into the next part there.
Okay, all right. Oh, sorry. But no, okay, whatever. Facebook, so people can find us.
We
Wait,
already did
what?
that.
What's
We already
going
did
on?
that.
What's happening?
You're going to ask me about
You
Canada
guys have-
Tech, and I'm going to respond.
This all up.
Never mind, screw it. I'm going to do it myself. Hey, I'm with this company called Canadian Assistive Technologies.
Uh-huh.
So are these other two posers. So for all your assistive technology needs,
We got to start going back
Technology
to,
weeds.
yeah, well, that too, yeah.
we need to go back to having morning episodes. We got to start doing this. 'Cause we can't do it in the afternoon.
Well, we can probably arrange that now because my training schedule's been moved. So
Oh, have you? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so sorry, what were you saying about a Canadian assistive technology?
I was saying that Canadian system technology is
Technologies?
System Technologies.
okay. Let's
Try that.
Try that
one more
again.
time.
If we can
It's only your
stop Ryan from
company.
All right,
laughing his
I'm
ass
good.
off
Let's
here.
go.
You named it.
Alrighty, so there's this company. It's called Canadian Assistive Technologies. And we work there. Mm-hmm. So we rock, and you should buy stuff from us at www.canastech.com.
Or you could even phone us, 844-795-8324.
Oh, you do that so well. You know, I still can't remember that number.
Really? Oh,
yeah, I blow it every time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I got it. I got that down.
Yep.
Forgot my birthday, but I got the number down.
And you can also find Canadian Assistive Technology on both Facebook and Twitter as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's also a place called Chaos Technical Services that's run by this guy named Rick. And he fixes any sort of assistive technology that's busted. He can be found at www.chaostechnicalservices.com.
Yes, indeedy.
So if you've got a piece of broken equipment that you need fixed, he's your guy.
Yep. If you got a Romeo, he's your homeo.
I like it. I like that. That's going on his website. I have the username and password for his website. That's going on tonight. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for putting up with us yet again. Thanks again to Alexis Hillyard for joining us and chatting with us. And we'll see everybody.
Next time.
What?
Bye. Bye. See ya.
Why,
see ya. See ya.
Why you do that?
Stop recording. This podcast has been brought to you by Canadian Assistive Technology, providing low vision and blindness solutions across Canada. Find us online at www.canastech.com. That's CANASSTECH.com. Or call us toll-free at 1-844-795-8324. For all your assistive technology servicing needs, call Chaos Technical Services at 778-847-6840 or find them online at chaostechnicalservices.com. Music provided by bensound.com.
Whoa, look at that. Master of the one take.